Good morning, garden friends. Welcome back to my channel. This is a garden tour for middle of May, and I would like to show you, excuse the noise, it's early morning traffic. I like to show you some things that are blooming in the garden. So we have the hostas coming up, and iris, and some seedlings are coming up. And here I have some echinacea and I believe zinnia. Okay, and the lilac tree, oh, you should smell it. It's almost too fragrant. And look at those heads. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay. And I'll show you on this side also. So we have the marigolds. We have a knockout rose here in the pot. We have endless summer hydrangea and petunia. They're all doing great. And let's move over. So we have some lemongrass sedum under the bridge there. I planted some sedum along the walkway, and I'll thin that out and probably have it going around the whole walkway. Not quite sure yet. And in this planter, we have the variety, the green variety, and I also put sedum in the pot. So I'm doing a lot of perennial planting. So because the garden is so big, there's less maintenance as well. So we'll walk around the lilac. Let's get a good picture. Okay. Then we have the bleeding heart that comes out every spring. So it's middle May, May the 14th. And it has its blooms. You can see that. Look like little hearts. Bleeding hearts. And it's pretty big. So we're talking about 4 feet wide, and maybe 3 inches tall. And here is our giant variegated hosta, which will be a lot bigger than that next month. And then we have behind the bleeding heart, beautiful daisies coming up. Beautiful. And this is our plum tree we planted just this spring. So it's a few weeks in, and it's already flourishing out, pushing out leaves. So we hope to have fruit next year. And my coral heuchera. Gorgeous. It's about 3 feet wide and about maybe two, looks to be about 2 feet tall as well. And that is a beauty. It's getting the perfect light, shade, everything. I'll show you the difference when we get down to the other ones that I planted at the same time. And we have the daylily coming up. Beautiful green foliage now. And another giant hosta, variegated. I'll stand back so you can see that. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. With some more daylily and hydrangea peeking up back there. And it's doing beautiful. And it looks like it is not growing on the wood, but I'm leaving it there just in case. Okay. It doesn't look like it's leafing out from that. And in here, we definitely have the zinnia started. A little weed there. And a hosta peeking behind that. I'm not sure of that hosta, the name of that one. I'll have to take a look at that. And over here, this is where I planted one Oriental lily my son DeAndre and his wife Electra gave me about 2 years ago now. So from that one, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from just that one. So, and in this area, I just want to have, well, and I did have some hyacinth. It's already spent. In this area, I'm just going to plant things that I don't really put in the hot sun. I just may dedicate this to, and a little bit of iris and maybe a little different, maybe even calla lily. That might look really nice here, tucked away in this corner. And this abravite, I'll do a little pruning on it, but it's good. It's been here for about 3 years, and I just need to fertilize that and probably add a few bags of soil, some good nourishment for the root system. And then here again, we have a small drift in front of the gnome, and I'm not quite sure of the name of this plant. I'll have to get right back to you with that one. I'll put it in the description. Our little gnome taking a little tinkle outside. And some ground covering, which is absolutely gorgeous. Now, this is not a lot of people like ivy, but I'm a fan. And we have the Dapper Willow that I am trying to lollipop. So let's take a look at this. So bear with me for one moment. So there we have it. And to the bottom of it, I need to stake it heavily. So what I'm going to do is get a stake, probably a post at this point, and pull all of those branches together and start getting rid of the bottom. I have to do some pruning out here. Get rid of the bottom shoots that are coming up off of it. Also, this plant has been, I'm going to leave it here. It doesn't even go here. I'm going to leave it there because it's something, and I just don't know what it is. I hope it's nothing bad, but it's beautiful. So we're going to investigate that. I'm going to have to Google image this and that. So, and the Dapper Willow is absolutely stunning, especially up against the ivy on the house. I have the ivy grows all the way up. And that's not a great thing for some, especially if you have siding. But I have an older house that I love this charm of it. So that's why I have it growing up. And it's growing up, and we do monitor it. So, yeah. Okay, and in the urn, on the side of the house, we have inside this year Impatiens, and I chose the pink and white Impatiens, and by the middle of next month this whole thing will be just spilling over with them. And then the ivy, like I said, attached to the sides. And I am going to remove some of the creeping Jenny. I absolutely love the creeping Jenny. However, the ivy does take over that. And I'm going to put some of the creeping Jenny, in my flower boxes on the porch. Yeah, see. I'll leave a little piece in for next spring so I can see it before all of the ivy breaks out. See, that's some of the dapper willow. I have to prune out some of the branches. And this one also, this is a dapper willow. Absolutely stunning. It's stunning. And in the beginning, if you watch a few videos before this, I have it when all of the tips are red. That screaming beauty. Okay, now moving along, we have a nice drift of hostas here coming around, and we have the chartreuse color variegated with the green, variegated with the green edging. And that's a little pup there I didn't plant, which I'm happy. I take all my bonuses. I'm gonna leave it there. And then the variegated, it's a smaller one. Not tiny, but it's like 18 by 12. And then we have the yellow and green. There's a name for that. I'm just not on it yet with that. Okay. And then we potted up this planter in hopes that we get some beautiful, super monster shoots from that. And this is a coral heuchera. And like I said, the size of this one versus the size of the other one, this is just maybe the front left side or something of the other one. That's the difference. It gets about 6 to 8 hours of sun. So the other one may only get 3 hours of sun. So shades are better. Much more shades needed, but it's pretty, it works, and it looks beautiful there. So we move on up around the side pond. We have hostas. We have some sedum, and we have some begonias, and also what's going to come out of these pots are elephant ears, the large elephant ears, and all of this will be completely, you won't see any of it. It'll all be cascading over the pond. And if you take a look, I need to get another stone for right there. And then I'm going to have to fill it in with the foam so I can actually add the water to it and get this pond rolling. And then we have a pot over there that does actually have the elephant ear. And that'll be up next month. So, all right, moving along. On this side, we have the hosta. Now, I am going to place another hosta there and probably here. So I'll have a nice drift of that. And this is the greenhouse that now I store some of my easy tools. So I'm not going back and forth to the garage. Right there. And I cannot forget this big, beautiful smoke bush. Huh. Some bush, huh? And that, my friend, came from a 2-gallon container 3 years ago. I keep saying 3 years. It has to be 4. So, but just think, last year I was amazed as well. And I can't wait till it puts off its puffy smoke. That's why they call it the smoke bush. And this is my smoke tree. Gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. This is, if you have one of these, get it placed right, and it will perform Like, you wouldn't believe it. And it is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. That's beauty. God is so good. Now we're moving around to our Paris bushes. And that's the actual name of the bush. Even though my daughter's name is Paris, that's why I bought them. But that's the name. And it's P-E-R-I-S. My daughter's P-A-R-I-S. Moving along. Okay, and now let's see what's going on in our pot. So we have some sedum. We had that. We put in there maybe a year ago. And then we added some gladiola. I knew that this would be a great place to plant them because I used to have this whole space right here was full of them. And I thinned them out and put them in the container. And they're doing just great. My tree bag here, my crabapple, oh, I had to cut the branches off because I transplanted it. And the leaves start dying on it. I said, oh no. So I fertilized it. It gets plenty of water. So we're gonna leave it there for a year and see what happens. Hopefully we'll get some leafing out. And I scratched it, so the bark is green. So they say it's alive. We shall see. So yeah. Alright, so entering into the backyard, we have the large varieties, and they are probably, I got these also when they were very small. They were probably the size that you saw the other one, and I had 3. One didn't survive, and I tried to save it for about a year. Planted it in a pot, took really good care of it. Nothing worked, so we lost that one. And we have a nice juniper growing in the middle now instead. And then we have the petunias back there, which are stunning. They're beautiful. Yeah, and our varieties, they're doing their job. They are doing it. My little bumblebee path. I like bumblebees for the summer. Yeah, so then we entered into the backyard. And